What the fuck happened to video games? I'm an old fuck, and turning 30 last year and creeping ever closer to 31, which is terrifying to fucking think about. I'm gonna date myself here, but god damn it, I remember when video games didn't suck. I remember when video games were things that you got made fun of for being into, because that was me and my small circle of friends all throughout high school. Liking video games wasn't cool. Liking video games was fucking stupid. I remember me and my buddy hanging out in 12th grade when we were about to graduate high school, and a bunch of people came over. They were doing some bullshit end of the year video thing for graduating classes, like, what was your favorite thing about high school? And we were both sitting in the library skipping class playing our DSs, and we're like, looked at each other like, playing Pokemon, and went back to playing video games, and I thought we were fucking weird. Now everybody plays video games. Video games make you millions of dollars on Twitch, and the facade of playing video games makes you $1 million on Twitch if you're a woman and have big tits. But we can get into the fucking Twitch culture in a later video. Today I'm really talking about AAA gaming in general. As much as the increase in technology and the convenience that comes with it has been a boon for technology in general in the last decade and change, we got things like smartphones. Social media can make fucking losers like me actually have some semblance of an audience and feel like I'm actually kind of, sort of, maybe a little bit important in this great big fucking universe that doesn't give a shit about any of us. It's really done a number on fucking video games. Between patch culture of releasing games that are fundamentally broken and then being able to just fucking fix them later, you're not even buying a working product, we're all paying to be beta testers now. Good luck patching your fucking Nintendo 64 cartridge if something goes wrong on it. But the real big problem is how video games are no longer games, they're services. And this is an old hat, I'm sure we're all aware of this by now, but the AAA game industry has become about live services, not games. They want to somehow have it both ways, where they make a video game that is designed to go on in perpetuity forever and to keep whales paying huge chunks of money constantly and to play it all day, every day, and make it a job that you pay for, but also charge you $60 up front, but also release a sequel on a nearly yearly basis so they can restart the cycle every single fucking year. So it's a live service for 365 days before it's immediately replaced by its follow-up live service. I don't understand how people play video games. If you'd asked me back in high school, are you a gamer? I would have said, yeah, I'm a fucking hardcore gamer. Back before the internet and shit was huge, I read every single fucking video game magazine. I could have conversations with my friends about games I'd never even played because I'd read every last thing about them. I remember having a long conversation with my friends who was big into Grand Theft Auto, and I talked to him about Grand Theft Auto for about half an hour. I'd never played a Grand Theft Auto. I just knew so much fucking about it and the development behind it and the way the game was set up and just the culture surrounding video games I was so tuned into. Nowadays, I'm doing more things with my time than just playing video games. I'm trying to make games, I'm trying to make art. Like, video games have been a huge inspiration in like the kind of artwork I create, low poly 3D models and retro games. But video games themselves are not my main thing that I do, despite being crippled and not being able to fucking do anything anymore. The reason for that, I think, maybe I'm just growing up, which, God, I'm a fucking old man now, so maybe that's the case. Maybe I've become what I so loathed back in the day. But I think a big part of it is just that games have become something I'm no longer interested in. They're these services, and that's the main thesis of this video that I'm, like, waffling my way to get to, is I don't understand how the normies play normie video games when they so blatantly hate you. These games hate you. They don't respect you. They don't respect your time. They don't respect your money. They don't respect you. They treat you as a fucking ATM. They expect you to turn on your console or your PC, log in, and just deposit money into them. That's what it's designed to fucking do. Between loot boxes and microtransactions and all this live service bullshit, subscription fees, none of this is appealing to me. I buy a handful of video games every year. I have the cash to buy all the video games that I want every year, where that was always a huge problem back in the day. I'd have to sell all my old games to GameStop for pennies on the dollar to get the new game, because as a little kid, my parents hated video games, and I was on my own when it came to that shit. But now, there's only a couple games a year I even want to buy, because the rest of them are such a fucking insult to my intelligence. The new Assassin's Creed, The Division, I don't fucking care about these games. Fortnite, I'm not gonna buy a battle pass for Fortnite. I'm not gonna fucking play Fortnite. Fortnite doesn't care about me. Fortnite's not art. Fortnite is it's designed, it's specifically, psychologically created to turn children into ATMs for corporations. It's a little fucked up. But that's kind of the model. That's the model of video games now. Maybe it was just as bad in different ways back in the day. But we didn't have the internet. We didn't have this constant connectivity to be able to call companies on their bullshit almost as soon as it happened and spread that information like fucking wildfire. When shit happened back in the day, you were too dumb. You didn't fucking know. I was a little kid and there was no internet. YouTube was not a thing until I was in the end of high school. I'm old. Laugh at me. I deserve it. But I feel like the technology that we have now is enabling a lot of this bullshit of continuing to pay and just turn video games into glorified slot machines. And I understand why. From a corporate perspective, I understand why. I should do a whole vlog at some point trying to figure out and do some research into why companies bother going public if you care about art. I feel like a company going public is like, if you have a corporate culture in a small company that is designed around passion around what you're creating, the last thing you should ever do is go public. It just seems like the fucking death knell for any sort of passion, any sort of business. But I'm getting off the point again. These video games, from a corporate standpoint, make sense. It's all about making as much money as fucking possible to please shareholders. I don't understand from an end user perspective how these games are popular. Are people just this fucking stupid? I don't want to believe that. I want to have more faith in the human race. Maybe despite being cynical, I'm still a little too naive for current world situations. But I just don't understand how even just a modicum of self-awareness and self-reflection on what the kind of time you're spending with products, like how does Anthem have a fucking player base? BioWare doesn't give a shit. They've obviously are shadowed their former selves. EA is fucking at the helm now, and they don't give a shit. Straddling these fuckers down with the Frostbite engine, and then designing this fucking game that's not even finished. They lied to you directly on stage, saying like, oh yeah, look at this game running in real time on Xbox One. Lamau, wink wink. It's actually still in pre-production. This doesn't even work until like a few days ago, and we still have no idea what the game's even called. And that game is designed purely to wring money out of people. All these new big AAA games are designed to wring money out of people. Fucking Devil May Cry 5, probably my favorite game of the year so far, has microtransactions, didn't even need them. One of my favorite games from last generation, or last year, or 2 years ago, I don't even fucking remember how long it's been, Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Microtransactions, had no need to be there. The games that I play are even starting to have this fucking bullshit, but thank fucking God that the studio's behind some of the games that I like, because I'm more of a single player focused guy, and I think that's kind of why I've, in the small last bastion of safe space, is that single player games don't have the fucking competitive nature to them, and the social interaction, so you don't need the cosmetics to wave your dick around if you're playing by yourself, and there's no incentive for pay to win if you're just beating an AI and not other people. The competitive nature isn't there. You're playing games to have fun if you're playing single player games, and so they're relatively safe from this. But people who are into multiplayer, how in the fuck do you do this to yourselves? I don't understand how you can have any sort of self-respect and look at this business practice and understand it's designed to fuck you and be like, okay, I'll play The Division, I'll play Anthem, I played Madden or FIFA, whatever the fuck. And, you want to go super normie core. Is this not obvious? This is not just, this is not like some form of satire where I'm trying to like casually insult people. No, I'm legitimately confused as to how people can be this purposely ignorant or just like blind to how these pieces of entertainment are so fucking sabotaged from the get-go. They're foundationally designed to financially fuck you raw. And they go on to make fucking dickloads of money. Like, I think what inspired me even to make this fucking podcast, vlog, whatever the fuck you want to call it in the first place, was a video, I think from Young Yeah, we were talking about Elder Scrolls Blades, and there was a screenshot of a Reddit post where some guy was just like, yeah, I'm a whale, and I know that they're fucking me over and taking my money, but I don't care, it's fine, I'm just warning you about everybody else that they're really fucking this game up. by changing the loot box balancing. I'll still play it anyway, and I'll keep giving them thousands of dollars anyway, even though I've just done the math and it takes X thousands of dollars to get everything done. But I'm gonna do it for a fucking mobile phone game that's a hollow excuse for an Elder Scrolls experience. And I'm just like, what is wrong with you? You have a mental condition if you know you've crunched the numbers, you've done all the work, and you know exactly how big of a financial dildo is being shoved up your urethra, and you're gonna do it anyways? These people are fucking insane. I don't get it. How? Is everybody as self-aware as this guy, and they just don't care? For some reason, the pathetically minimal gameplay loop in Elder Scrolls Blades is somehow rewarding enough to justify spending 4 to 5 figures to open chests? Is that okay? Like, should we be worried about these people? I'm worried about these people. I'm worried about how there's enough people to keep an entire industry going to the tune of billions of dollars annually based off literally sitting you down and face fucking you and stealing your money. I don't know. I don't know what the point of this is. I'm just mad. I just think about this shit and I get mad. I make video games. I want to keep making video games. I think video games are art. And I grew up playing PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1 and Sega Genesis, where the games were art. Or maybe I was just too... This is like retroactively making question my own experiences as a child. Was I just too naive? I mean, it always was a business. There always was EA. But, like, have things really shifted so far? Or am I just so old now and cynical and jaded that I can, like... If I was as old and jaded as I was now 15 years ago, would I have seen all the bullshit going on back then? Or was there legitimately a difference? There has to legitimately be a difference, right? There has to be. There were no microtransactions on the original Xbox. Not really. Like, we were still kind of weirded about the Halo map packs when they dropped for Halo 2. But we were kind of okay with it. Xbox Live, that was a start. We should have bitched more about fucking Xbox Live charging for online play. We were the problem. We've started this. I haven't bought a microtransaction in any fucking video game, and I never plan to. Because it's bullshit. Shit should have stayed on mobile phones where it belongs. Or better yet, it just should have fucking stayed on the cutting room floor. The industry just seems so cynical now. So evil. So hollow. And, you know, it's like the one hobby that everyone always told me, oh, you're going to grow out of it. Video games never going to get you anywhere. And now, you know, people are listening to me talk about video games, and I'm making a video game, and my small, tiny audience of people who actually cares about me, they care about me because, solely, that I have things to say about video games and art and things like that. So all the shit that everyone told me was a waste of time has actually set myself up for the one thing in my life that gives me meaning. Fun fact, kids, listen to your heart, follow your dreams. Even if it sends you into a financial death spiral and herniates 2 of the discs in your spine, it's still worth it. Maybe. But I like video games, alright? They're important to me. The industry is important to me. It's more important to me than it is for any of these fucking people in charge of these companies, clearly. They care about money. They care about pleasing their shareholders. We need all these fucking companies to go private again. You know, let's skip a generation. Fuck it. We don't need graphics to be any better. Let's scale back production costs on video games. Let's just say PS5, fuck it. Let's wait another 10 years. Let's let technology get far ahead of us. Video games don't need to be on the cutting edge. Let's cut costs that way. Let's just let technology keep going forward, and we'll just focus on video games as art. And the graphics don't need to keep improving. We'll focus on cool gameplay elements, and when the costs drop, we don't need to throw in microtransactions. Private companies don't need to shatify shareholders. We can focus on making cool creative visions again. I just need to get more into the indie market. That's really what it's about now. Those are the people that give a shit. You know, you gotta be the change you want to see. That's why I'm making a fucking video game. I'm gonna keep trying, I keep learning more about programming, try and make better video games. It's like you gotta be the games you want to see. Go check out I Am Games. It's such a bummer. It's such a fucking bummer. I just don't get it. I just wish we would stop supporting the EAs and Ubisofts and Activisions and Warner Brothers games of the world. It's not worth it. Playing Anthem doesn't fucking matter. Spending all this money on Anthem for a game that's probably gonna get the plug pulled on in a year or two. If everyone who spent microtransactions in the Division 1 to make themselves the fucking best at that game, the Division 2 is coming out. Is it already out? I don't even fucking know. None of your shit matters anymore. You know, it's not like fucking World of Warcraft when you're paying a $15 subscription and the game's gone on for like 15 years and all the shit you're doing stacks and matters. It's not like these games are going to be updated in perpetuity. These companies are too greedy for that. That was the old greed, the $15 subscription. The new greed is $60 buy-in, microtransactions expected constantly, and then next year they're just gonna bail you again and start the whole cycle over. Your money goes to nothing. You're paying thousands of dollars for temporary bullshit that has no applicable value outside of a tiny little live service that is purposely designed to be obsolete in 12 to 24 months. Have more respect for your time, because all money is a tangible representation of time spent valuably. You are wasting your time by spending this money on things that don't matter. For the amount of money you spend on a battle pass in Fortnite, you could go on eBay and buy like 3 fucking bitchin' PS2 games that'll last you just as long, have way more soul, and are a complete package right from the get-go. If you deal hunt, you can probably find a console in that same price to boot. Go on fucking Craigslist. Some mom who digged it out of her college-bound son's bedroom is just trying to get rid of it, doesn't know what she has. There's a whole stack of PS2 games. Or just play indie games. Just go on itch. Just go on itch. You can play games for days on there. We have more games than we know what to do with. Fucking solo developers on itch. Go play Izumi and the Vertical Slice. That's on itch. It's 5 minutes and it's free. No microtransactions. That's all I got. I'm burnt out. Shit. Thanks everybody who listens and supports me on Patreon. I'm a small indie guy. I've always said I'm a small indie guy. I know you guys are probably just as fucking poor as I am. I'd love you to support me on Patreon, but if not me, just support somebody. You know, we're all fucking grinding. So if you got an artist that you like, throw him a couple bucks, show him some love. Doesn't have to be me. Would love if it would be me, but if it's not me, I know you guys have limited money. Whoever you think deserves it, throw somebody a buck. You know, we're all in this shit together. Throw somebody a buck as long as it's not fucking EA or Activision. Check out Resuming the Vertical Slice if you want to, you know, see where I put my money where my mouth is trying to make video games. That's it. Have a good one.